What is lean? Anybody know what lean is? When it first came out, I thought it was about just getting rid of waste on a building site, organising the skips, making sure eliminating waste. That was the sub-headline. Eliminate waste. It's not mass production like Ford do with the tube. Car comes in one end, comes out the other end. When I order my Volvo, it takes 6 weeks to get, takes them a day to make it, takes them 1 day short of 6 weeks to get it into the manufacturing process. So it gets on the production line, comes out at the end of the day, gets delivered. Again, not like typical construction, it's not craft work. It's a third form of production, sort of in the middle, based upon the total production system, which you'll find out later is actually from Henry Ford's ideas over 100 years ago. Majority of the total production system is based on just-in-time management, which is your materials turn up just in time to use them. Ran quite well for some years, but then they realised that all just-in-time did is it got rid of the storage on site or at the factory, but the guy supplying it, because he had to deliver it every hour, every 3 hours, had a dirty great big warehouse down the road. So it eliminated their storage costs, but the supplier had huge storage costs. So they worked on the process further and worked all the way up the delivery stream. The lean ideal, the right information, materials and resources to the right place at the right time, every time. And it's the every time bit that's quite hard to do. You can do it once, as a little job, get it sorted. Railway possessions work quite well. But to do it every time, every single day, every week is the hard bit. So it's quite a lot of effort. Henry Ford, back in 1914, decided he was going to do things differently. He introduced a $5 a day pay wage, which was double what everybody else was paying at the time. But it eliminated absenteeism, turnover, because people were getting twice what everybody else was paying. So he secured his workforce and a reliable workforce by paying twice the amount. He integrated the business from the mine to the dealership. Everybody thinks he just makes cars. He ran the iron ore mine, processing, everything. They even created a factory to create artificial leather for the car. They only made one product, the Model T, but he made 10 million of them. He designed and constructed his own plants, and he standardised the parts to allow a simple assembly process. So that was back in 1914, almost 100 years ago. So shortly after the war, a guy called W. Edward Deming got sent to Japan to teach him about business and streamline the businesses. This guy, Taijio now, worked for Toyota. He credits Ford for everything he knows. To be honest, he took Ford and moved him a step further. He was the first to categorise waste. This is something that Henry didn't do. Big one is defects in products. A lot of people don't realise there's overproduction of goods not needed, generally due to the batching process. That's when it takes a couple of days to change the machine over. Because it takes too long, they decide to make a huge batch of it first and put it in a warehouse. So you're making things that you might not necessarily need or be able to sell. Which, similar to the inventories, you've got goods. If you've got materials on site, someone's paid for those. So they're used. Someone's paid for those. If you've got a massive warehouse with goods in there, like the just-in-time system didn't work. The suppliers had the storage, but someone somewhere has paid for that storage. You got storage paid plus the cost of the material being sold. Unnecessary processing, that's some steps that aren't really required to actually produce the goods. Unnecessary movement of people, generally moving people about factories and work, you've got to go from this process to the next process, maybe that be different building, quarter mile away. Similarly, unnecessary transport of goods and waiting by employees, waiting for materials. Sure, on construction sites, you've done quite a lot of waiting. So that was mid-50s. It was 20 years since Henry Ford. Mid-80s, These two guys, James Womack, Daniel Jones, along with a third guy, Daniel Bruce, that doesn't get mentioned much anymore for some reason, published a book called The Machine That Changed the World. Bloody hard to read. If you can understand it and you put the effort in, it's worthwhile. Their second book, Lean Thinking, is the one that we all recognise and recommend, because it's a little bit simpler and explains a lot better. They summarise Lean into 5 principles, which are value, value stream, flow, or perfection. I won't explain any more about those now, because I'll go into that a little bit later. Then they extend on page Yellow's list of 7 categories to include an 8th, which is the design of goods and services that do not meet the user's needs. So the next slide is, as I mentioned earlier, some Japanese words. Try not to use them too much. Mother is the main one. Keikaku is radical improvement. That's what happens when you start the lean process. You get a radical improvement almost straight away within a couple of weeks. Kaizen is followed slightly afterwards, where you have, once you've got a new process in, you continually improve it. You don't do lean and then stop. You carry on forever, effectively, pursuing perfection. Kanban is a way of regulating form, along with poker yoke, which is a mistake proofing device. The poker yoke could be used to describe a photo cell on boxes of materials where you're assembling a product, you've got 6 boxes in front of each with a circuit board or whatever. If you haven't put your hand in every one of them before you pass the main assembly on, the bell rings to tell you that you haven't put everything together. And takt time, which is the time available for production divided by how many you're producing. You've got 8 hours and you've got to produce 8 takt time that we want. Not actually Japanese, it's German. It's a musical term, but the Japanese didn't have a word for it, so they adopted it.